of our local, regional and international viewers, thank you kindly for choosing us here at Real TV, where we bring reality to you. My dear friends, a very warm welcome to another edition of the program Conversations with ZELISA, where we continue to inform, educate, empower and answer those unanswered questions. I am ZELISA Singh Rupani, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, enjoy. Get your pen, get your notebook, Real TV, so you could take notes on important numbers that will be helpful for you and your loved ones. Directing this morning and in Master Control, we've got Philip. On behalf of the team, we'd like to wish each and every one of you a beautiful, blessed, productive and great day today. Happy Friday, 10th October 2025. It is a day and time we'll never have the opportunity to ever have again in life. Don't procrastinate, don't waste your time. And if you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you and yours, that someone special. Don't take your loved ones for granted. Tomorrow is not promised, all right? Remember to say thank you, I love you, I appreciate you. It's important, but mean it when you say it. Philip, I'd like to say good morning to the management and staff. Could you please take the CG down? Could you please take the CG down? I'd like to say good morning to the management and staff of Ramsaran Products. Thank you so much for coming on board. My favorite is Morbi. It's on top of my list. It's extremely strong. And I was telling my staff yesterday, if they've ever had Morbi with a little bit of milk, carnation milk, it's absolutely delicious. So Mr. Ramsaran, good morning to you and your hard-working staff, your team. Remember to check them out for wholesale and retail prices, Ramsaran Products. All right, thank you so much for that. Let's go to our quote for today, coming to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. And our quote says, children must be protected not because they are innocent, but because they are powerless. Thank you so much. And let's go to our let's say thanks to Fab India Expo. Remember to check them out for all of your deals. The season, the flavor of the season is Diwali. You know, when you're going to those lovely functions and events, check them out for your clothing, accessories and your shoes. One-stop shop. Check them out.
Step into the colors and flavors of India at the India in Style Expo opposite the Center of Excellence Mokoya. Dive into our Indian Food Festival featuring a delicious variety, plus explore vibrant Indian clothing, elegant outfits for the entire family, perfect for every occasion. Open daily from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. opposite the Center of Excellence in Mokoya. Get ready, Shoguners! The Fab India Expo is back, starting on September 18th, right opposite the Medford gas station, Shoguners. Shop authentic Indian fashion, food, jewelry, home decor, and much more. Don't miss out on the Fab India Expo opposite Medford gas station, Shoguners, your one-stop cultural destination.
Welcome back to Conversations with ZELISA. To all of our local, regional and international viewers, thank you so much for choosing us here on Real TV. This morning I am in conversation with a lady. She's a force to be reckoned with. I have a great respect and admiration for. When it comes to my daughter, I'll tell you something. I don't second guess, I don't cut corners, I don't compromise. It's about the best of the best, the cream of the crop. And she is my daughter's pediatrician, our choice. You know, both my husband and I, when we had to choose a pediatrician for our daughter, we went with the best. I'm speaking of no other than Dr. Vidya Ramcharita Maharaj. And she's so humble, she's such a kind, gentle soul. But let me tell you, she's a force to be reckoned with, a walking institution. She is the head of pediatrics emergency department at Mount Hope. She does her private practice. She is a lecturer at the University of the West Indies, a mother to a handsome and brilliant young man, and of course a daughter, sister, friend to many. Welcome, Doc.
Thank you very much,
It's
ZELISA.
so nice. It's our blessing and our privilege. I think this is your first conversation here on Real TV.
Yes, it is.
On other media houses, of course. Known her for years, but I really feel very blessed and very, very privileged to have you on set.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
I really am grateful.
Such a wealth of knowledge and experience as well, and that makes room for a great teacher. And I was telling her this morning when I saw her, I was so happy to see her, just really happy. You know, she's one of those people that's very infectious. Her energy, when you see her, you can't help but smile or feel happy, right? And I was telling her that I remembered, you know, when I saw her, I immediately remembered the first time when Malika was a baby, and you know how gentle and kind and loving, and how you got her to be distracted to give her her shots and things like that. And she was equally blessed to meet you this morning. No
Yes,
school around
indeed.
the country.
It was
And,
quite fortunate.
Yeah, and so all morning she says, "Mommy, she's coming," and I said, "Yeah, Mommy, I'll see you." And yeah, so blessings to you.
Thank you
And
very
thank
much.
you for being the dynamic woman that you are, such a powerful woman, and very humble soul as well. Today, Doc, you're going to talk to us about the importance of vaccinating our children, our babies, the importance.
Yeah.
Some people take that for granted. Why is it so important?
So one of the things that we have to understand is that vaccinations actually save lives. So that's one of the first things. In 2025, UNICEF actually declared vaccines as amongst the most effective health-saving outcomes that we have.
Right.
And what they did was that they actually showed that it saved almost 4 million lives yearly and globally. And vaccines train a child's immune system to first of all detect and then fight against serious infections before they actually strike.
Okay.
Yeah? So that's what they do. And people have to understand that it's not about us giving our children infections in that way. This is what we call safe immunity.
Safe immunity.
So there's
all right.
natural immunity, which is when you actually get the infection,
Right.
which in some cases can leave you with serious morbidity. So you can have where if you have measles, you can get infections into the brain where it can actually make a normal child a vegetative child. You go into what's called an encephalitis, and I've
Right.
seen 3 cases of that already.
Wow.
You have a normal child,
Yeah.
they're not vaccinated,
Yeah.
and we had a recent measles outbreak in 2025, earlier this year.
Right.
Right, and it was declared that WHO declared that there was an 11-fold increase in measles cases.
Wow.
And PAHO actually confirmed that we had greater than 10,000 people infected and greater than 18 deaths in 10 countries.
Wow.
So measles is rearing its head back again. And part of the reason that we ended up having these measles outbreaks is because we had a drop in the coverage, our vaccination coverage. During COVID, we would have slipped in our vaccinations because people were not going to health centers, they
Right.
were not going to hospitals,
Yeah.
there was nothing. Everybody was segregated
Yeah.
this way. So the vaccination rates dropped.
Right.
So in order for you to have vaccination coverage to actually prevent outbreaks, you have to have 95% of your population vaccinated.
Okay.
Right, so that's vaccination coverage in that sense. And we are down to almost like about 89% globally, 84% globally. So when we have pockets of where there is not vaccinated or improperly vaccinated, you have people traveling. It's now a global village. You could be in one country and in the same day in another country.
Right.
So with these gaps, with these decreased in the vaccination coverage, you have a higher chance of actually getting these outbreaks and infections. And even programs or countries that have very strong vaccination and immunization programs can still see outbreaks when the coverage drops below 95%. So people have to understand that vaccines, and once people understand how vaccines work, so if you basically have, we take minute amounts of actually the killed bacteria or basically weakened viruses, and we expose the body to it. That's when you get the injection, what that means. And when the body looks at it, the body goes, hold on, you're foreign, I don't know you, and basically takes a picture. And by taking the picture, it's a cell, a memory cell, that says, okay, I'm going to remember you for future. And if you're that dangerous to me, I'm going to make sure that I can mount an attack on you if you come on board. So when the virus comes on or the bacteria comes on in a massive amount, the body goes, hold up, I recognize you, launch the attack. And therefore it prevents serious illnesses. So this is how the vaccines work. And This first video is actually going to show from the CDC
Okay.
how vaccines actually work.
So, Director, let's go to this first video, please.
This is baby Jack. Vaccines help Jack fight infections by introducing a small number of antigens into his body. Antigens are parts of germs that cause Jack's immune system to go to work. After Jack gets a vaccine, his immune system will remember the vaccine antigen and attack that germ if it ever invades his body again. The antigens in vaccines are weakened or dead, so they do not cause illness. Vaccines contain only a tiny fraction of the antigens that Jack encounters in his environment every day. It'll take a few weeks for the vaccines to start working, and Jack may need more doses later to best protect him. That's why Jack's parents are following the recommended immunization schedule, because it is designed to give him the best protection possible from 14 serious diseases. Learn more about childhood immunizations. Visit cdc.gov/vaccines/parents or talk with your child's doctor.
Welcome back to Conversations with ZELISA right here on Real TV. To all of our local, regional, international viewers, thanks for choosing us. In conversation with pediatrician Dr. Vidya Ramcharita Maharaj. Welcome back, Doc.
Thank
As
you.
we continue, of course, that showed the importance, especially with babies. And we still have a lot of people, they just don't take it seriously to ensure that their babies are vaccinated.
They also don't know the importance of keeping and catching and making sure you get them when they're supposed to get their shots.
Uh-huh.
So it's one thing to give one shot,
Right.
but there is a reason why we need boosters. And when we go into the types of vaccines, we will further evaluate on that. But the fact is that you need to give them it at their scheduled time. And part of the video would have showed keep your appointments,
Yeah.
keep your scheduled appointments to ensure your child is fully covered.
And I think what is also important that people need to recognize is that you do have the choice of doing it privately,
Yes.
or you could go to the clinics.
Yeah. The vaccines are free.
It's absolutely
free.
free. So there's no excuse why
And
you shouldn't take this seriously.
We have a very good expanded immunization program. It's
Okay.
run really well. We have excellent district health visitors and
Right.
nurses. They are the backbone of it.
Yeah.
They ensure they will go out, they will go to the schools. Rashand was in first year.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I did not send the updated immunization card because
Yeah.
he got his last shot before he entered school.
Right.
And one of the district health visitors knew me very personally. And I got a note stated, you need to take your child to the health center for this. So when she came into the emergency department, she's like, Vidya, I went to Shagwada's government, and I was like, yes. She's like, just send the updated card now, you know. So sometimes we forget to send the updated cards,
Yeah.
but that's to tell you
Yeah.
how much they check what the kids are supposed to have, which is excellent.
That's great.
You know,
yeah,
so that's
yeah.
why Trinidad still has a very good coverage.
I agree.
One of the things is also that our vaccines, people may think, oh, because it's in the public health sector, it's not good, but they are good. They are very good. I got those.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact is that these are the ones, and my son got them as well. These
Yeah.
are the things that the value of looking at what they are.
Correct.
Now, our health centers would give what we consider our national schedule.
Right.
And then you would have others at your private pediatrician that you have in the private sector that you may not get. So these are all the things that it's important to have the conversations with your pediatricians. Because I have ones that will go to the health centers, they will get their vaccines, and whatever other additional vaccines, they will come and they will also make sure their children get it.
Great.
And we have a discussion because I will tell them what the vaccines they're going to get, what did they cover. There was one of my friends in New York, because New
Yeah.
York also had an outbreak of whooping cough.
Yeah.
And when I had gone to Australia, they made me take a vaccine because they said their doctors were coming down with whooping cough. And there are two different vaccines to cover whooping cough. One of them covers using a whole cell, where it's the whole bacteria itself, while another one uses an acellular. So they've done a certain thing, they've adjusted it. And the acellular ones were the ones that are not giving lifelong immunity.
Right.
So if you were vaccinated with that every 10 years, just like tetanus, you had to be vaccinated as well. So she was from Guyana. So they
Yeah.
were shocked that she got it, knowing that you should have been vaccinated
Yeah.
at that point in time with this.
Yes.
So, but again, was she fully vaccinated? Did she receive all of her shots in order to get the benefit of it?
Yeah. This is a program, Conversations with ZELISA, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. And today I'm in conversation with pediatrician Dr. Vidya Ramcharita Maharaj, and she's talking to us about the importance of vaccinating our children. Let's go to these important messages. Stay with us. When we return, we continue our conversation. Stay with us.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Kill man is a real dog, you know. Kill man is a real dog out here. Nah! That's what you saying he do? After he talk that big game and nothing? If you search up red flag, you will see he face me. I don't understand.
But he didn't do nothing wrong.
But how you know he do nothing wrong?
Because you could see it. You just have an opinion and you voice your opinion to your friend and making him man look like a dog.
But he's a dog.
Because you say so.
He's a dirty dog. You know the backstory here?
But if the same way you going on where you're saying and I going on where I say it, I have a different opinion to
Yeah,
you.
but that's my opinion.
Well, I'm not saying you can't have your opinion, but your opinion wrong.
But you know what is my next opinion? Why you minding my business?
Because you're talking loud, your business is we business.
Why I don't understand only.
You
I
could have
say,
managed,
hey,
and
this
you could
dog
have
is
managed
right
small
here.
quality.
Coming your way every Tuesday and Thursday on Real TV from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It's not just love, it's not just reality, it's love versus reality. Expect the passion, the drama, the twists you never saw coming, and the moments that make you question, is it true love or just reality biting back? Only on Real TV, where reality hits different.
On Saturday, 25th October, at the Center of Excellence, Massive Tank Sound Company brings to you a night of Bollywood magic, featuring the Big B of Gujarat, Bankim Pathak, Daksha Goyal, Indian Idol star Shivanji Sharma, Nitin Kumar, Chaturvedi. Get those general tickets $200, VIP $500. For VVIP, call 498-1698. Ticket outlets, all extra foods nationwide. Prem Singh's Kirap and Shagwanas, MS Food City Debe. Saturday, 25th October, at the Center of Excellence. A night of Bollywood magic.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Welcome back to Conversations with ZELISA, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. I'm in conversation with pediatrician Dr. Vidya Ramcharita Maharaj, and today she's talking to us about the importance of vaccinating, how important that is. Welcome back, Doc. Let's talk about the types of vaccinations.
Okay, so we have several types, and we're going to go through what are the different ones and why the vaccination schedules are so different. So if we bring up slide 1.
Let's get slide 1, please.
This will tell you the types of vaccines we have. And if you look at it, we have the first one, which is live attenuated. What this means is that we take a weakened form of the virus or bacteria.
Right.
and in very minute quantities. So it's not going to cause infection,
Yes.
but it's going to cause the body to respond to it.
Ah.
And it mimics natural immunity, but it's a
Right.
safe way of doing it, and we get a very strong immune response.
Okay.
So really and truly, you only need one dose
Uh-huh.
or sometimes 2 doses to
All right.
completely get the coverage you need.
Okay.
And that's like yellow fever. That's why our country says 1 dose at 1 year. You realize that? We
Yeah.
used to vaccinate to 10 years as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And then they said no, 1 dose.
Yeah.
Chickenpox also falls under this category as well.
Okay.
Measles is only 2 shots.
Right.
Yeah, so it falls into this category. It's such
Yeah.
a strong response you get that you
Yeah.
get that lifelong protection from just basically 2 shots, maximum 2.
I notice a lot of countries now when you travel, they are requesting that you do have that yellow fever shot. It's now requested, yes.
But that's because we have it in our countries. So therefore, if we are going to places like Jamaica
Right.
and Barbados who do not have it, they
Yeah.
request that we have it.
India, a couple other places as well. I see now even Margarita, they're requesting.
So that's why
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why.
Understood. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Then, so with those, however, live attenuated, you cannot give it to people who are immunocompromised.
Okay.
So if I have a child who is undergoing chemotherapy
Yeah.
for any sort of cancer that they may have,
Okay.
if I have a child going under radiotherapy, even adults as well, we cannot give them this because remember it's a live, weakened form.
Understood.
And their bodies cannot mount the
Cannot,
immune response.
exactly.
So it will end up not being able to control the replication
Okay.
of the virus, and therefore they can get a full-blown
Understood.
infection.
So
those
once you're compromised with your health, you have to be very okay. Understood.
So it's held in certain things that bring down immunity. So
Okay.
like if you're on a long course of steroids, those are
Okay,
things like that.
understood.
Yeah. The other type is the inactivated or the killed antigen. And with this one is safe to give to the immunocompromised because it's
Right.
killed.
Right.
But it doesn't give us a strong immune response as the live ones. So you have to
Understood.
get boosters.
Okay.
So that's why you would see with the pertussis, you have to get at least 5 shots. And when you look at the schedule, so those are the boosters to ensure that you are fully
Understood.
covered.
Okay.
And then we have the subunit. This is where you have the entire bacteria, but we're just going to take a piece of it. Or you have the virus, and we're just going to take a piece of it.
Okay.
So you may take a sugar in it, or you may take a protein, you may take a
Okay.
bit of the cover, but you're not doing the whole thing as what the inactivated and the lives were.
Understood. It's part of.
So it's a piece of it that you're actually taking.
Okay, all
And
right.
again, with these, it does give you a good immune response, but again, boosters are needed.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. The toxoid ones, what we're actually doing with this is that these bacteria will produce a toxin. It produces a chemical that causes the infection.
All right.
So these vaccines are targeted against that product, not
Okay.
against the bacteria itself, but against the toxin that actually causes the issue.
Okay.
Yeah. And these two, the subunits and the toxoid, is like you give them a little photo, like just a little mugshot, but you didn't give them the whole picture.
Okay.
But the body's still able, when it gets the whole picture,
Yeah.
to recognize it, even
All
though
right.
it just got a little bit.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And then the newer ones, which were the RNA-based, which is what we had with our COVID vaccines.
Uh-huh.
And these were ones where they said, in all of the others, we have been introducing the antigen as the virus as itself or the bacteria. With the RNA ones, we are actually putting a piece of code, mRNA, which is then our body will then code it to form the antigen in ourselves.
Okay, thank you, Philip.
But it is not it's not going to change your DNA, but they use a virus to sort of put it into our body as a medium, which was the adenovirus, but they had ensured the adenovirus will not cause symptoms. And those things had caused a lot of issues with people because it was a new vaccine, it was a new method, it was not fully tested with the side effects. So all of those things also caused a bit of vaccine hesitancy when we actually look at the kids in this sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
So that's what we're dealing with. Now, in our country, there's a certain population that is not vaccinated, and that's because of religious reasons, and that's the Bobo Shantis. So they are
And
not
what
vaccinated.
population is that, Doc?
It's
Of
not
what sort?
I'm
It's
not sure what size of the population it is
Right.
presently, but I think they have their own way and their own system of how they deal with things.
Understood.
And they will still come to seek medical help.
Right.
But we know that this is a special group because they are not vaccinated. They are protected because of herd immunity. And what herd immunity means is because, let's say, we have 100 people, and out of the 100 people, 90 are vaccinated, but the 10 are not. Because in 90 are vaccinated, we will not have this infection be propagated. So the 10 people are protected. They will also not get it because we don't have the vaccine, we don't have the lower vaccine coverage to cause the infection to spread, the outbreak. But if those 10 people who are not vaccinated leave and go into another country, which does not have the same vaccination coverage as our country, they are susceptible to get the infection. So herd immunity is something we work with to try and protect the ones that cannot. Like how we have the kids who are immunocompromised.
Yes.
They benefit if everybody else is vaccinated. They are less likely to get the infection.
Okay. I know that there are some religious in terms when they make their decision, they're not going to have a blood transfusion and things like that.
Yes.
So, and they're within their rights to have.
So you have to respect
their, exactly.
but you also have to empower them with the knowledge.
Knowledge is
so
power.
Therefore they understand they're making a knowledgeable decision. It's not just something that they're making without having both sides of the stories in that way.
Good.
Yeah?
Let's talk a little bit now about, now that we've understood the different types, perhaps we could go into scheduling.
Yes,
and you know, where
so
does
we
it
could
start?
bring up slide 2,
Let's
which
go
tells
to
us
slide
our
2,
national
please.
schedule. This is what's provided at the local health centers. And even if you missed having these vaccines, the health centers do have a catch-up schedule.
Important.
Yeah.
So we start at 2 months.
2 months.
Great.
Prior, when we were younger, it would have been 3 months, but they have now started vaccinating kids earlier.
Okay.
So it's 2 months, and you can see at 2 months, 4 months, and 6 months, there are 3 vaccines that you receive. Your polio vaccine, your 5-in-1, which has diphtheria, which is a bacteria, pertussis, which is whooping cough, tetanus, Haemophilus influenza B, a bacteria that basically causes meningitis, infections in the brain, ear infections, chest infections, and hepatitis B, which is a blood-borne hepatitis.
Okay.
Yeah? So, and then pneumococcal. So these are the 3. The pneumococcal also causes infections in the brain, ears, chest.
Okay.
So you get the protection because at 2 months, yes, if the parents have been vaccinated and if they're breastfeeding, and they would have a certain amount would have crossed into placenta to give them a certain protection, but that protection is going to start waning.
Right.
So therefore, this is why they need these vaccines in order for them to start boosting their own production.
Okay.
So at 2, 4, and 6 months, this is given at the health center level. There is in private sector, you can also get something that is called rotavirus.
Okay.
Rotavirus is one that causes a great deal of gastroenteritis, causes a lot of deaths from the vomiting, diarrhea, dehydration. So you have an option to
So
give
you say
it.
that is privately done. It's not done publicly?
No, that's not one that's on our public
May
schedule.
I ask why?
I think when they looked at the risks and cost and schedules,
Understood.
it's,
Okay.
is it feasible? Is it something that we would like to do in this sense?
All right.
Where these were probably more important in terms
Okay,
of
good.
coverage to actually. Yeah.
But it's an option if you choose to do it
It's an
privately.
option if you choose
Good.
to do it privately.
Great.
It's not compulsory. It's
Yeah.
not you have to do it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and then at 12 months, so the kids get a gap of 6 months, and then we get yellow fever and MMR. So the first 3 can cause a bit of fever at times.
Fever, right.
And that's one of the side effects, a bit
Yeah.
of soreness to the leg pain.
Yeah.
But generally, there is not any major illness, disease that you get from it.
Nice.
And once the parents are warned, and there is medications like in terms of just giving your antipyretics, your paracetamol, your ibuprofen, it does help with the kids.
Nice.
At 12 months, yellow fever, MMR. And MMR, you can actually give an MMR shot as early as 6 months if the child is traveling to an area where there's an outbreak.
Okay.
So if it is that you're traveling and the child's at risk, the children can get their shot at from 6 to 11 months, they can get a shot. However, they still have to get their shot at 1 year, and they still have to get their shot
I
at 2 years.
think what you said is really important that people often take for granted. They travel, do a little research into the country that you're taking your child or children to.
Yes.
Just do a little research. There's no harm in order to find out if there's an outbreak or whatever is happening medically. Great.
Yeah, because
Great
Disney
advice.
World, I think last year had an outbreak.
Yeah.
So my parents were like, they were traveling, they
Yeah.
insured. It was an
Yeah.
8-month-old, we gave the vaccine, but then they had to come back at 1 year for it.
Okay.
And 2 years. The 2-year vaccine, MMR, we used to give it 4 to 5 years. But because of the outbreaks that were happening so frequent, then WHO decided, no, we need to give the second shot at 2 years.
Okay,
because
good.
one shot gives you 85% protection.
All right.
So you have a chance still of contracting measles.
Okay, good.
And then your second shot gives you 98% protection. At 18 months, then there's booster again. They get the DPT, which is diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, polio, and pneumococcal. Internationally, we also give the Haemophilus influenza B. When I was in England in 2004, we were having outbreaks of meningitis. And that was because the organism was actually H. influenza B.
Okay.
So then they started to give a vaccine either at 18 months or 4 to 5 years. We don't do it, but I don't think it's because we have such a good coverage. We're not seeing this being in our cultures. And then at 4 to 5 years, again, polio and DPT, and that's the last one before school.
Good.
Where
Thank
everybody
you so
has
much.
to get it.
Yes, before they go to their primary school.
Yes, before they go to primary school.
Yeah.
But I tell them at that stage they get a break. So the kids are like, okay, we get a break. When is our next shot? And that's usually when you're about 10 years of age. And that's usually when you have to get your tetanus booster. And with the tetanus booster, it is every 10 years. And it's every, if within 7 to 10 years of your last shot, if you get cut with something that's rusty, you need to get the shot. You're not at 7 years, even though you had the shot 7 years before. Once you've been cut with something rusty, you need to take the shot at that point.
So at your first tetanus should be at what age?
So your first tetanus is at 2 months.
2 months,
Yes.
right? And then, understood.
And then your booster, after you've gotten your whole immunization schedule to 4 to 5. So you get your tetanus at 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 18 months, 4 to 5 years, and then at 10 years, you're supposed to get your booster again. And then every 10 years after that.
Okay, excellent. Even though when you become an adult.
Even when you become an adult, you still need it. And then one of the other vaccines we have for the adolescent age groups would be the HPV.
I want you to hold that thought. Let's go to a quick break. You are viewing, of course, Real TV Conversations with ZELISA in conversation with Dr. Vidya Ramcharata Maharaj. Let's go to these important messages.
Diwali preparations can be quite stressful, especially when you have a hectic schedule. Luckily, at premsing.com, I get my Diwali essentials all in one place. With a click of a button, I can get my diyas, decorations, lights, sweet boxes, sweet mixes, groceries, knickknacks, and more. I enjoy shopping online because I can enjoy the store specials here too, like this reduced price box of wax diyas and decorations.
Looking for a full-time secondary school where your child feels safe, supported, and inspired? Experience the difference at Upper Level Educational Institute. Our passionate teachers and interactive classes ensure students remain actively engaged and excited to learn. Classes are also available part-time for students, repeaters, and adult learners. Sign up for any part-time subject and get CSEC Math free. Upper Level, a great place to learn, where students come first. Register today.
Yes, people, you have been waiting with bated breath and you have been asking. The Future of Talk is back with yours truly, Heavy Duty, and my co-host,
CC, and we are live on Real TV from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. every afternoon, Monday to Friday.
Yes, you heard it, Real TV, right here, yours truly, Heavy Duty and TC. The Future of Talk is back, right?
On Saturday, 25th October, at the Center of Excellence, Massive Tank Sound Company brings to you a night of Bollywood magic, featuring the Big B of Gujarat, Bankim Pathak.
I'm coming fourth time in this your country with the lovely songs of Muhammad Rafi Saab. This time I'm coming with the full team of my musicians and singers from India.
Daksha Goyal, Indian Idol star Shivangi Sharma.
Hey guys, this is me Shivangi Sharma and I am coming to Trinidad for the very first time.
Nitin Kumar.
See you on 25th of October in Trinidad Center of Excellence. Thank you so much. Radhe Radhe.
Tanmay Chaturvedi.
Trivedi.
This is Tanmay Chaturvedi, first runner-up of Saregama 2018.
Get those general tickets $200, VIP $500. For VVIP, call 498-1698. Ticket outlets, all extra foods nationwide. Prem Singh's Kirap and Shagwanas, MS Food City Debe. Saturday, 25th October, at the Center of Excellence. A night of Bollywood magic.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Welcome back to Conversations with ZELISA right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. Today I'm in conversation with Dr. Vidya Ramcharita Maharaj, pediatrician. Doc is also the head of the pediatrics emergency. That's a big at Mount Hope. She's also in her private practice, as well as a lecturer at the University of the West Indies.
Associate lecturer.
Associate lecturer.
I haven't had time to be a full lecturer.
Well, you're so consumed with so many different things. She's wearing so many different hats. But you know, you're well accomplished. You've made a name for yourself. You work extremely hard. You're very committed to what you're doing, huh? And I do admire you. You're a very powerful woman. And we need a lot more like you. And when we do have women like you, we do have to applaud you and let you know that we are full of gratitude and thanks for your hard work and your commitment. Because you work for the citizens. That's the truth.
I work for my little ones. They actually...
Your babies.
Yes, my babies. I never wanted to be a doctor, ZELISA. Never. And I think God had pathways already created for me. I think I fought him from since Form 3 coming up, not to do medicine. And every time he just put me back on it. And at this point, I can't see myself doing anything differently. And I really, really enjoy my kids. They make my day. They actually... you with children, you see when they're sick and when they're better, and it's the gratitude, the hugs. Some of them give the most amazing hugs. I got one last week, Monday in work, from one of the little ones. So that makes it just worth it.
I think if you love what you do and you have a passion for it, and perhaps that's why you invest so much of your time, and you don't think that it's work because you love doing what you do. It's a passion, and you've got the art. You really have the art. You know, I remember when Malika was a baby, when I first met you, you know, I sat and I just observed. I mean, both Bharat and I were there. I think it was seeing you take our child from discomfort to comfort. You understand, but the art of doing it, you really had a special way of communicating with that little soul there.
I think they know I'm a pediatrician. I'll be in the grocery and they'll be just staring at me. I'm like, I think you all know what I do. But it's just nice. It's a different world. Their world is a special world, and that's why, as you said, your first quote was, we need to protect them. They are innocent. They come with a lot of love. They come with just wanting to explore, and we have to be advocates for them. Not just in terms of parents. I tell the parents, listen, I'm the advocate for the child. And some of them have my number and they'd be like, we're going to tell Dr. Video. So the parents are like, okay, when you go, you tell Dr. Video what you have to tell Dr. Video. But protection, it doesn't just start with just protecting them physically, protecting them mentally. It's also protecting them in terms of medical. It's giving them vaccines to ensure that they can withstand certain infections. When we see the extreme, we had one child had presented to us and she was actually had tetanus. She was 9 years old, and we kept asking, is she vaccinated? They kept telling us, yes, yes, but she'd only had one shot. And when we got to the bottom of it, and with that, it's very hard for us to get the tetanus toxoid, even though we know to help this child, and we had to get it and go to ministry levels and stuff. And when you look at it and you've seen a healthy child just become basically like a board and cannot breathe because of the tetanus, the muscles are in tetany. By the next day, all of the other children were immediately taken to health center for vaccines because the parents at that point realized, oh my God, look at what had happened to this child. We've had also ones that I had one when I was in England. he had a renal transplant.
Wow.
And therefore, remember, same things I told you, we can't give live vaccines to those kids. He could not receive the MMR vaccine because he was under medications because of his transplants to prevent rejection.
Yeah.
And he contracted measles, and he basically had the encephalitis. He couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, and he was just lying there.
Wow.
So it's a lot of times, you may think, parents may think, okay, I am not vaccinating my child. But by you not vaccinating your child and other parents vaccinating your child, they are protecting your child. They're making that because they get the herd immunity. But then you also put these other kids who cannot be vaccinated at risk.
Right.
So it's not, it's thinking of community, it's thinking of others. Yeah, it's that act as well.
You know, I always say to my viewers over the years, each child is special and each child is a miracle. And it is our duty and responsibility. It's not just a nice, safe home and love and morals and values, but we also have to take the responsibility of making sure our children are healthy as well.
Yes.
And that is important. You don't take that for granted. You don't play with that.
No, because
you know?
and parents are the best advocates and the best, they will recognize when something is wrong with their kids.
They should first.
They are. And I always have, when I have kids and the mom goes, something is not right, I pay attention to that. It's one of my rules. If a mother says this, something is not right, they're not happy, they're not comfortable, you go a little bit deeper. You look to see what's going on, because they're the ones that are with the kids all the time. Yes, I can reassure them and say, listen, this is nothing serious. But they know if I tell them, listen, you're going into the emergency department, they're like, if Dr. Vidya tells us this is serious. Because very rarely would I have to be an emergency physician myself. There are things I can manage without sending you to the emergency department.
Doc, you're head of pediatrics emergency. With your experience over the years, what would you say is the number one problem that you face, or children or health concerns that children come in for in terms of emergency?
Around this time, presently, we have a lot of children coming in with respiratory infections.
Really?
So we get hit from September to December with basically flu, influenza.
Yeah.
So that's one of the major things that we would see. Because the kids are no longer, you know, when it was summer holidays or it was Easter holidays, you're home.
Yeah.
Now they're in camps.
Yeah.
So throughout the year, we have the
Correct.
infections. So it's just going on. And I think the kids are building up immunity that they lost when we had the COVID. Because if you're not constantly exposed, you will not keep your immunity up.
Well, I'll tell you, recently all the parents got a letter from school with regards to if your children are coughing or sneezing or you see symptoms, keep them home.
Yes.
And I've noticed even in the chat for the school class chats, a lot of kids are staying home. So it means that there's a bug in your ear. So I keep telling my daughter, sanitize. But children, we are not there. You know, you tell them and
but
they do
it's
their own
respiratory borne, that's the influenza. That's why ministry would be issuing that the flu vaccine is available.
Yeah.
And the flu vaccines, it does not stop the child from getting the infection.
Yeah.
But it helps them to fight the infection off faster.
Ah.
So people think if you get the flu vaccine, then you should not get sick. It doesn't work like that.
Thanks for clearing that
It
up.
does not. It is a more of, just like with the vaccines, we give you a booster to fight it off faster.
Right.
That's what it actually
So you suggest we give our children that
There are some children that definitely need it. Those are the ones that are asthmatics. Those are the ones that have cardiac issues, heart problems. Those are the ones that have things like sickle cell disease, thalassemia, things that they are not, any little thing can push them into an extreme case.
Okay.
So those are the kids definitely, I would say. There are ones that, yes, when they get the vaccine, it helps them to boost immunity. The flu is a different sort of vaccine in that, just like how I can give you lifelong immunity for mumps, measles, rubella, we can't give you for influenza because the virus changes. There's lots of different viruses. And even if the vaccine comes out September, the virus mutates and changes by December. So the vaccine may not cover it. Yeah, so this is why people are sometimes reluctant with the flu vaccine because of these misunderstanding concepts of it.
When we return, we've got to take a quick break, but I quickly would like you to talk about the rainy season, you know, as they get wet in and out of the car from school to the whatever, they start sneezing. You know, perhaps as a pediatrician, you could give us some advice. The first things we should do as parents, you know, they get wet. What do we do first when we return? This is the program Conversations with ZELISA right here on Real TV, bringing reality to you. Let's go to these messages.
Welcome to the Power Play, the most exciting period in sport. Join us every Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. as we bring to you all things sport. We break down football, cricket, basketball, all the latest sports in the Caribbean and of course across the world. Right here on Real TV, your station for local sport. Real to the heart, local to the core.
Your community matters, and your news deserves to be heard. From religious events and sports days to fundraisers, markets, and cultural celebrations, Real TV is your platform to share it all. Send us your announcements and let's spread the word together, because strong communities are built on connection. Real TV, real facts, real talk, real community.
Call us today at 292-6470 or WhatsApp us at 384-7142. You can also send an email to realtv.corporate@gmail.com.
Hello, I am Astrid Morillo, Mrs. Congeniality, a bilingual Venezuelan living in Trinidad. I invite you to join me for an exciting new program, La Voz Latina, where we will highlight the achievements, challenges, businesses, and culture of the Latin community in Trinidad and Tobago, including the food, music, talents, immigration experiences, and more. Join me every Saturday and Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. for conversations that celebrate our voices, our stories, and our community. Coming soon to Real TV.
On Saturday, 25th October, at the Center of Excellence, Massive Tank Sound Company brings to you a night of Bollywood magic, featuring the Big B of Gujarat, Bankim Pathak, Daksha Goyal, Indian Idol star Shivanji Sharma, Nitin Kumar, Chaturvedi. Get those general tickets $200, VIP $500. For VVIP, call 498-1698. Ticket outlets, all extra foods nationwide. Prem Singh's Kirap and Shagwanas, MS Food City Debe. Saturday, 25th October, at the Center of Excellence. A night of Bollywood magic.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Welcome back to Conversations with ZELISA right here on Real TV. And I'm in conversation with Dr. Vidya Ramcharita Maharaj. Welcome back, Doc. Pediatrician. Quickly, because I know you have some slides that we would like to go to. Some tips. The first thing we do, they come in the car and they soak in wet. Or their shoes wet because they were running in the rain and in the whatever all day and they in wet shoes. What?
Kids will be kids. That's one of the things. It's just fun is to get wet in the rain. One of the things is to just make sure you dry them off properly. So I would say actually make sure that you have a towel in the car. Even a change of clothes or something like that, like a short pants and a top, get off their wet socks. So,
good.
Yeah, so once you dry them, they're fine. And I usually would say when they get home, a nice hot shower.
Okay, that's
so
it.
Those really, really help. It's simple things. It's not keeping them in the wet clothes because I realize that they will catch a cold, they'll catch a head cold, things like that. But it's more just getting that wetness, and it's a different type of coldness.
I like that idea of having a towel and a clean
a change of
clothes. That's important. I think all parents should have that in the vehicle, regardless for whatever. And so be prepared. Doc, the
Right, so
slide?
we were talking about the vaccine coverage.
Okay,
so I wanted
great.
to show you, because we were talking about you have to have 95% vaccine coverage.
Correct.
So this graph is going to show you global data as well as our local data. And the Ministry of Health actually was very kind enough to provide me with this data to be able to present.
Great.
And global, I got it from the internet in terms of the global coverage. Now, one of the markers to actually say if we are doing very well in our coverage is looking at the third DPT. That's DPT3. And look at the percentage globally, it's 85%. And
Right.
to get coverage, we need it to be over 95%.
Understood.
Look at the MMR. The MMR1 is only 84% globally. We have managed to reach our 95% coverage with our MMR1, but we have fallen behind with our MMR2.
Okay.
And part of that also happened during our COVID period, because post-COVID we were doing talks to encourage people that this is the thing as well. So Trinidad has done really well in our vaccination programs. As I told you, we have a very, very robust system. But we need to get it up to 95. So Trinidad is still at risk for getting a measles outbreak, because we have people who are not vaccinated for their second MMR. You have the fact that people are traveling and they can basically import it. Yeah, and because of these gaps we have in it, we are still at risk.
So get vaccinated, get your kids vaccinated. It's important.
It is important, because you want to ensure that you have a healthy child. You want to ensure that you see your child reach to the academic potential, their full life, to see them live a life that you would have wanted for them. We worry when we're pregnant that something is going to happen. You worry when they're born something has happened. Then you have a very healthy child and you see them running around. And if a simple thing as a vaccine can prevent them from actually going from a healthy child to that of a child that's extremely sick with some sort of disability, then this is something that we need to think about.
And it's your duty and responsibility as parents or guardians, or, it is your responsibility to ensure that your children are vaccinated.
Yeah. So part of the thing as a parent is to look at your vaccination schedule. Know your vaccination schedule. This is on the website, Ministry of Health website. Look at your child's card. Have they had their shots? When is the next one due? The back of your immunization card usually tells you when the shots are due. If they have missed a shot, visit your health center. The nurses will give you an updated date. They will also do catch-up schedules for you as well to ensure that your child is vaccinated. You basically ensure that you keep your appointments for it. If you miss an appointment, go back and make the next appointment date. And ensure you look at, as ZELISA was saying, look at what country you're going to, what are the outbreaks, and if there is a measles outbreak, ensure your child is actually vaccinated and covered for measles, mumps, and rubella. You don't want anything spoiling your holiday and then coming back from that holiday as well. Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. It's going to ruin your holiday, and going on a holiday now is quite expensive.
Yeah. So when you get sick over there, it's also going to be something.
And you don't want to have poor health. You want to be, have your energy going, and you want to enjoy your vacation.
What you're paid for.
And once one is down, you're all, disenchanted. You can't
so
be
some of the things people talk about is that vaccines will get you sick. But the fact is there's no vaccine that's 100% going to be safe. However, they decrease the risk of serious fatal diseases.
Right.
And as I said, most of them are rigorously tested.
Yeah.
They are monitored. We, as even pediatricians or even doctors, have to put in if there's any effect or anything from a vaccine. So it's actually, that is the monitoring that goes on the surveillance. So they are safe. In Trinidad, they are free. They are cost effective. They are life-saving. The other myth that we sometimes have to deal with is that putting in the infection and that natural immunity is better. But natural immunity carries a risk. With natural immunity, if you actually get the infection, so if you actually get measles, you can get where it affects the brain. You can end up having what's called an encephalitis. You can have seizures. And if you have seizures, you may have lack of oxygen. You can end up with brain damage. If you have things like polio, you could end up with paralysis. If it is that you even have simple things as chickenpox, everybody's like, oh, they could get it naturally. 6 weeks later, you can actually get an infection in the lungs. It's called a pneumonitis. So it can inflame the lungs. So sometimes what you need to do is do safe immunity. Kids are exposed to 1,000 germs. You know, when they're teething, when they're licking the ground, everything else like that. The vaccines are minute germs that we actually have to put into it, and it's killed in some cases and very weakened in other cases. And another thing is that we were talking about the HPV vaccine at one point in time.
Yes.
And that's a vaccine that if the kids are under 15 years of age, so between 9 years to 15 years of age, you actually only need 2 vaccines to give you the protection. If you're over, then you would need 3 vaccines. And a lot of people think that the HPV vaccine is only for girls, but it's actually for boys as well, because boys do get cancers from the virus, as a human papilloma virus, HPV. They can get throat cancers, they can get anal cancers. Yeah, so it's not just that the girls is cervical cancer we're trying to prevent. And the same herd immunity, if you actually give the boys it, they're protecting their future partners. So this is what I'm talking about. It's thinking not just about yourself, your own child, it's thinking about others, who your child's going to be exposed to, who they are going to interact with. A lot of our kids go away to study, and you will see the forms come that I have to fill out, and they request that if they have to have the meningococcal WACNY. We do have the vaccine in Trinidad, we do have it in the public health sector, but it's given to specialized groups, especially the ones that are immunocompromised. But if the kids need it for school abroad, you can check your health centers. These are the ones going to university, and they can receive the vaccine. So you will see that even in the States, they are recognizing the fact that they have gaps. So they are trying to reduce possibility of infections coming out and outbreaks. So therefore they're requesting, even for the university students, to ensure that they have all of these vaccines, including MMR, including chickenpox, varicella, including the meningococcal vaccines. So this is where you're looking at.
Good information, very important information that you need to understand and be responsible for, and don't take it for granted.
No.
Because taking it for granted, you could lose the life of your loved one. It's as simple as that. Prevention is better than cure.
And you've put a lot into your children.
Of course.
I mean, I have one, and I'm very grateful for my one. And I mean, whenever he's sick, I know what it feels like. And I think he has taught me to be a better pediatrician. There is no book that could have taught me what Rashan has taught me. And he has made me better in what I do, and I'm able to relate better to the parents. And I usually tell the parents, you know, it's like, and I want to make sure you all understand this, the vaccines that you end up giving your child today, that's a present that's going to protect them. They're the gifts you're giving them to protect them for their future tomorrow.
Couldn't
So you have to look at it like that.
You know,
Yeah.
you're very correct. You're giving them the gift of life for their future in good health. You made a very valuable point with regards to when they become adults, they're going to get married, and of course they'll want to have good, healthy children as well.
Yes.
You're absolutely correct. It's about making the decisions today for a better tomorrow. As we say, making the wise choices and a good choice of good health. How often, before we wrap up, and I know time is against us, how often should one take a child for a checkup to the doctor?
That's an excellent question, because a lot of times from the time the vaccinations stop at 2 years, you don't see them until 5.
You feel you don't need to
They don't need a doctor.
yeah.
There are certain things that are called well checks, and the well checks are usually every 3 to 4 months. So you should actually see your pediatrician sort of at least 3 to 4 times a year. And that checks their growth, that checks their development, because we could pick up things as precocious puberty, where they are going into being an adult too quickly. And there are things we can do to help and to stop it, but we won't recognize it unless we are always checking for it. So most of the times I would say definitely every 3 to 4 months, and you can coincide this with their holidays. You don't have to take them out of school for this.
Nice.
Out of school is basically they're sick, you need to be seen. But you could carry them Easter time, summertime, Christmas time, on their holidays, just to see the pediatrician, to have that relationship, especially for girls sometimes. It's sometimes dealing with changes in puberty, changes in school. Bullying is one of the things as well. Body deformity, they think that their bodies are not good, and body imaging issues. And sometimes we can pick it up. And I think because I'm aware of it, I look for it. I will talk to my students about it. We'll talk about the patients, and they are free to actually say, okay, some of them parents will go, you want us to step out and you want to talk to Dr. Vidya by yourself.
Yeah.
But this is what you have to have a relationship.
Absolutely correct.
I remember one of the persons told me the most important person when a child is growing up is your pediatrician.
I think
that
that's
relationship
right.
has
It's
to be
important.
there.
That connection and that relationship of open communication, where they feel comfortable to speak to you. That is extra. I agree with that 110%.
So that's one of the things. So
Yeah.
my secretary threatens to put on my door psychiatrist, psychologist, counselor, general practitioner.
But it's true, isn't it? It's true. When you think of it, you really have to, it's beyond that relationship now of a doctor, child or patient, but now they can have that, they could relate, they could feel very open and don't be intimidated, but rather feel free to discuss anything.
You
And
become
that
part of
is-
the family.
You become, that's
what
true.
it is.
Doc, this is where we're going to wrap things up. This is not the end of you coming. We're going to hope that we will see, and I know that you're very consuming, and I respect that. But I hope that we could see and hear more of you. Yeah?
My pleasure, I will definitely.
God's choices, blessings, my regard to your lovely family and that handsome son of yours, all right? This is where we're going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for choosing us here on Real TV. I want to remind you that with God, all things are possible. Be kind, respect the law of the land, take care of yourself. Your health is your wealth, all right? I am ZELISA Budu Singh Rupani. Thank you so much for choosing us. You be good, you be safe. See you soon.